As I'm sure you're all aware by now, last week we got the news that FM25 was being delayed all the way until March, and it left many players, including myself, thinking, well, what do we do now? So we ran a poll on social media, and we found that many of you guys wanted a data update at least for FM24. If we're not getting a new game, at least we could have, updated transfers, player upgrades and whatnot. And whilst that would be great, we have heard no news yet from Sports Interactive on whether that would be the case. So we decided to take it upon ourselves. With the help of some brilliant creators, we have managed to put together what we're calling our FM25 DLC. Now with this download, we're not just talking updated transfers, there are player upgrades, player downgrades, even new wonder kids, and plenty more that we'll get into later in the video. It's all completely free, but all we ask that you guys do is if you could share this to as many people as you can, smash the like button, engage with a comment, subscribe to the channel, all of that will be a massive help. But first, let's show you the download, how to install it, and then we'll show you everything you get from it. So in the description of this video, you're going to find a link that will take you to this FMSCOUT webpage where there's plenty of information about this DLC that we've made, but I'm going to cover that in the video, so I won't read it all out to you. And this is super easy to install, it's safe, it's free, you don't need to worry about anything like that. But before I show you how, I just want to give a massive shout out to some of the creators behind this download pack. You've got TheNotoriousPro and SirTAVARES, who have allowed us to pull together some of their download files into one special file here for you guys, and of course the FM transfer update team, who have allowed us to have updated transfers, updated contracts, and all of that great stuff. So yeah, massive shout out to all of those guys for the help and for getting on board with this. Make sure you go and give them their credit. But very simply, you're going to go ahead and hit this download now button. You will get this zip file download, FM24 to FM25 DLC. Once you've downloaded it, very simply head on over to the download section of your computer where you'll find your recently downloaded file, which you'll have to unzip, or for me, I could just click into it. And within it will be all of the FMF files that you need to have this DLC work properly. So all you need to do is go ahead and copy them all. Once they're copied, your next job will be to take them into the editor data folder of your Football Manager 24 files. Now, for anyone that isn't on Windows, don't worry. In that link that I gave you earlier for that web page, there's going to be a description of how to do this on every platform for you other than consoles, unfortunately. But whether you're on Mac or on the Epic Games Store, all of the details for that will be on that web page. But in this video, I'm just going to cover Windows, but if you need extra information, you'll be able to find it on there. But for you Windows users, you want to navigate to your Football Manager 24 files, and I'll put the pathway on screen for you guys now to get there. And this is actually going to be pretty similar steps for everyone once you get to this point, but navigating to this area of your file section on your computer will be different depending on what operating system you're running on or the platform that you play Football Manager on. But either way, once you get to this Football Manager 24 file section, you want to head to the editor data folder. Now, if you don't have one, you can create a folder and name it editor data, but it should be there. And now go ahead, right click and paste in the files that I showed you earlier, and they'll all go into your editor data folder. And that's all you need to do in terms of under the hood stuff on your PC. Your next job is to boot up FM. So now that we're heading into FM, I'm going to break down every single file for you and what they do, show you examples of how they work and how to set it all up within the world of Football Manager. It's really simple, so make sure you do stick with me and smash that like button if you are finding this useful. And for anyone interested, I do also have my own channel. If you want to come and check it out, I'll be doing some rebuilds with this new updated database that we've made here. But enough plugging, I'll stop with that. Let's head into Football Manager, where you're going to have to start a new game. Now, as many of you might have expected, you will only get these changes on a new save file. You can't go to a save you're currently running and update the squads. That just wouldn't work. So it's going to have to be on a new game. So go ahead, click start a new game, click career, and then before you do anything else where you'd normally choose your game mode, you want to drop down this database arrow here. And within, you will find all of the editor data files that we have just downloaded. They should automatically be selected, but if not, make sure you go and select them. Now, the first thing to note is if you don't like a certain file that I'm talking about, whether it's player upgrades or new wonder kids, you can untick it and still keep everything else. So you can pick and choose what you want. But you'll see a lot of these files to start off with are promotion and relegation files. Some for individual nations like Brazil, Belgium, Bulgaria, where the competitions have some specific changes. Pretty much every nation is within this file here for promotion and relegation, but some special ones like France, Hungary, England, whoever it might be, they have their own separate file. But very simply, I'll suggest you tick all of those. Even if you're not planning to load that league, just tick it anyway. And what that will do is it will have the likes of Sassuolo in Serie B in Italy. It will have Ipswich in the Premier League in England, and anyone relegated last year will be in the Championship, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Updated promotion and relegations. The next file is new players and staff. This is where you're going to see those new Wonder Kids appear. So if you wanted to play with Chido Obi Martin, the new Manchester United signing, you can do. If you wanted to play with Gabriel Mek, the Brazilian, or Kamada, AC Milan, all of those are featured within this new Wonder Kids file, which is awesome. There's a no injuries at the start file. The reason we have this is when you play your save, you don't want players that are injured last year to still be injured now because you're playing with updated squads. So for example, at Chelsea, Romeo Lavia will be fit and he won't be out for the season like he was last year. The same goes for no suspensions at the start. It's the same thing, but instead of injuries, it's for suspensions. And then you've got all players 1 year older. Now, just to explain, in-game, your clock is still going to say in the top right 2023, but everything will play as 2024. We found this was the best way to make things work. Yes, it's a little bit annoying that your clock might still say 2023, but in-game, everything will act as if you are starting a save in 2024. And as such, we have made all players 1 year older than they would have been in the starting database. And whilst we talk about that, we may as well cover this file at the bottom, which is all contracts 1 year shorter. So what this will mean is when you start up your save, every player's contract will be reflective of how long it has in real life. So Christian Eriksen, for example, at United, as of this season, only has a year left. And now when you start up your save, he will have exactly that to actually reflect his contract situation in 2024. And then you've got the current ability and potential ability changes where players that have done well in real life, say Cole Palmer, for example, will have been upgraded. Now, as this has been done by human users who do this in their spare time, we can't go out and say that every single player, you know, a Brazilian third tier player has been upgraded because he had a good season and scored a couple of goals. I can't say for everyone, but in general, it will improve some key players in world football, some players that you know will have had good seasons, downgrade some others as well, to keep everything as realistic to real life as we could do. And then, of course, at the bottom, you've got the transfer update, which will have had every move that's happened in the summer and everything since up to October the 13th. So even like Chesney to Barcelona, that will be reflected in game. So you'll have updated transfers. So that's all the files covered. All you'll do now is click confirm, choose your game mode and start up your save as normal. And here's a save that I've prepared earlier with Manchester United. And I'm going to quickly run through some of the changes that you can expect to see and how they will look in game. Now, firstly, the obvious thing, promotions and relegations. If you go to the Premier League, there's Ipswich, there's Leicester somewhere as well. If I can get my alphabetical order right, there you go. And it's not just the Premier League either. I don't even have the Italian second division loaded here, but even still, Sassuolo are in the second tier. They did get relegated in real life. Another one that comes to mind, Como, Cesc Fabregas' side, is in Serie A, as you would expect. So the promotions and relegations all working as you would want. Still going with that Manchester United example, because of the changes that we've done to ages and the contracts, despite it still saying 2023 here, we have got the world reflected as it would be in 2024, i.e. Christian Eriksen has only 1 year left on his contract. Harry Maguire has 1 year left on his contract and is 31 as well, so the ages have been updated too. I know the age and contract thing might seem like a small change, but it really does help with the immersion, making sure it feels like you are managing as a manager would now in 2024 and dealing with the same contract situations that they would have to. And I think it just takes that level up a little bit in this database. If we keep using Manchester United as our example, we can now showcase that the transfers are working. Manuel Ugarte, Matthias de Ligt, Lenny Yoro at the club, and it looks like Lenny Yoro might have been given an upgrade. Cole Palmer, another one that has had an upgrade, but what I want to point out is you might look at his attributes and go, hold on, those attributes are the same as what he has in the current database in Football Manager. Well, yes, that is technically true, but what the Notorious Pro has done is he's edited the player's current ability as opposed to going in and changing each attribute. So for example, Cole Palmer in the standard Football Manager database since the January update has had a 140 current ability. Here with this upgrade, he's now got a 150 current ability. So whilst his attributes are the same, what will now happen is over the course of the next few months in your save, Cole Palmer will develop very quickly and pretty soon his attributes will reflect that 150 current ability level. The same for downgrades as well. Over time, over the first few months of your save, you'll start seeing their attributes slowly decline to reach the current ability that they've been assigned by this change. And I mentioned there was new Wonder Kids added in the save, so here is one, for example, Gabriel Mek, the 15-year-old at Gremio, who is currently wanted, I believe, by Chelsea. They might have even signed him, I can't remember now, but he has been added into the game. Now, what I will say with some of these Wonder Kids you're about to see is their current ability in terms of the attributes that you're seeing might look a little bit low, but they all do have really high potential. The reason that the current ability has been set a little bit lower is because they're all very young in game. Some are 14, some are 15. So for that reason, they're going to have a couple extra years of development that most Wonder Kids in your game wouldn't. And I feel like this is the best way to help them reflect over time their career progression. So don't expect them all to be world beaters just yet, but remember they are a year or two behind most of the other Wonder Kids you would have been using in your save. So give them a chance. Here's another one, 15-year-old Guile Fernandez. He has got a potential in this save at least of 178, so he can go right on to be one of the world's best midfielders. Because he's only 15, his current ability isn't super high just yet, but give him a chance and he will get there. Now, I'm not going to say I know every single Wonder Kid in the world, but I feel like this guy looks new as well. 15-year-old guy at Manchester United. He's got a lot of potential too, and if you give these players a couple of years, you'll soon start to see they start to grow into some of the best Wonder Kids in your saves. So we've got that in this database as well. And with all of that, the only real thing that I think this lacks is the fact that the clock will still say 2023 and not 2024. But if you can forgive that, the game will play as if it is 2024 with the updated contracts, ages, transfers, promotions, relegations. So as long as you can just not look at this clock or accept that this clock basically should say 2024, then you'll be all good. So look, we know this isn't FM25. We can't make our own game engine, a whole new menu system and whatnot, but we do hope that this will help fill the void for you guys between now and then, especially if Sports Interactive don't give us an update like this themselves. Now, obviously, we don't have a full employed team of testers to go on and test every little detail of this, so we will hopefully make some improvements to it over time. If there's any issues, let us know in the comments, but really, I just hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some use out of it, and hopefully it can help fill the gap between now and FM25. Thank you for watching. Download it, give it a go, and I think you really will find that you enjoy it. Thanks all. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.